Hi everyone, Simon Keeling here. It's Easter Monday, the 1st of April. Thanks again for watching weatherweb.net. Now, I'll pick up on the ECMWF charts first of all. This is the chart for midnight tonight, and you notice here low pressure centred out towards the west of the country, high pressure still to the north, and this chilly easterly flow. Now, with a high pressure position up here, it means that with the easterly winds we are generally dry, although there will be some snow flows down eastern coast at times during this week. Low pressure remains out towards the west look as we head in towards Wednesday. And then for Thursday, still got this cold northeast flow across the south, but the high tending to retreat a little bit further towards the north. Into Friday, the flow becomes more into a northeasterly. Again, 1 or 2 snow flurries for eastern coast, but the west tending to be dry. But just look at this ridge you can see here building into the 500 millibar flow. Now things then get interesting through the ECMWF because this is the chart for Saturday. And again, notice that the ridge is here, but just spot the low out here towards the west. By the time we get into Sunday, that's deepened much further, and the ECMWF to me looks to be making too much of this. It pushes the ridge eastwards, brings a fair day. But then as we get into next Monday, that feature in the west really has become deep. It then brings it eastwards by Tuesday as a deep feature centre towards the southwest of Ireland. That puts it somewhere around about, where are we, 968, 964, around about 960 millibars. So a really deep low there, bringing strong winds and heavy rain. And then into Wednesday the 10th, it puts the low straight over the top of us as a deep feature, bringing some very unsettled conditions, but it tries to build the ridge back in the west once again. Now, all of that together hints that the ECMWF is taking us towards a much more unsettled period of weather. And that idea would tie in with the MJO, because the MJO is taking us, this is the ECMWF MJO by the way, taking us from the 29th of March to the 29th of April, is taking us into quite a notable phase 4 period. It's weak, but you notice how we've got this cluster of days look in that phase 4. Now, for the MJO, phase 4 basically is unsettled westerly flow coming in off the Atlantic, positive North Atlantic oscillation, so it means unsettled conditions. So the ECMWF certainly is falling into that camp. However, if we then look at the GFS ensemble, different signs coming in from that. You'll see what it does is it takes us with relatively cool temperatures, look slowly rising towards the end of this week, but then as we get into the early parts to the middle part of next week, it brings temperatures up quite markedly. Yes, we've got some outbreaks of rain around, but it's this increase in temperatures which is the main feature. Now what the GFS ensemble does is it sees the trough out towards the west, it deepens the low, but it keeps it out to the west. What it does is it builds the ridge in off the Atlantic and makes that the major feature, bringing southwesterly winds, building heights and milder conditions. Now it's not completely dry because there will be rain around. And the rain most likely northern and western Scotland, western parts of Ireland too, but for many central, eastern and southern areas, it's hinting at drier weather. If we go forward a couple of days, this is to Saturday the 13th, you'll notice the ridge really is in by then. Although we've got a front that's sort of lying down here, we've got a warm front up here, this is the cold front here, this is the warm front here. Bringing outbreaks of rain western Ireland, western Scotland again. For the majority it's dry, it's much warmer than it has been, and there's sunny spells as well. And then if we go forward to the 15th, so this is 2 weeks today, the ridge has gone towards the east look. We've got more of a southwesterly flow with low pressure up towards the north. Now the fronts in here are lying somewhere like this. So again, what we're going to see is some cloud and outbreaks of rain western Scotland, northern western Ireland, but for many eastern and southern areas it would be drier and also milder. And then by the 16th, so this is Tuesday the 16th, again look, the ridge trying to get back in, we stay with the mild conditions and the mainly fair weather. So where do we go with this then? Well, for me, out of the two models, I think I've got to lean towards the GFS. It looks as if the ECMWF looks to me to be just making too much of those lows. They're deepening them too much. I think there will be rain for northern and western Scotland, for the north and the west of Ireland, but I think for most it's going to be dry and it's going to be warming up. That's why I favour this solution from the GFS ensemble, this idea of warming temperatures here once we get past around about the middle of next week. And that's also backed up by the ideas I showed you yesterday. This was the CFS for week 3, taking us through from the 14th to the 20th of April. And this was showing all the signs of the ridge building down to the south. And if we just go into week 4, this was the period 21st to the 27th of April. Again, what it showed was the high down here towards the south of the country, the ridge building in and conditions becoming warmer. So this is why I'm going for this idea of the end of the month probably, or more than likely, becoming much warmer and drier than the start. It could be that we have a real contrast in April here, where the end is quite warm, having had such a cold beginning. Of course, things can change, very early days, but getting these signals from the models, differing signals from the models, is actually a good sign, because when that happens, it normally means there's a change in the atmospheric pattern about to change place, and I think that's what we're going to see. I'll do some more work on it through the next few days, and of course, keep you updated right through. But that's it for now. Have a great Easter Monday, and thanks again for watching weatherweb.net. Remember, we're kept free of charge by the adverts you see around the screen here. It's by you coming back, using the adverts, and using the site. That's what keeps us free of charge. So thanks for doing that. Have a great day, and keep the sun shining, and keep those fingers crossed for milder weather ahead. Bye for now.